seeking anything
There is
right
a
now.
saying, when the student is ready, the master shall appear.
So अभी मे बी स्टूडेंट मजे की जिंदगी में है.
What I mean by that is,
हेलो दोस्तों, स्वागत है आपका टफ स्टोरी के एक छोटे से पार्ट में जो हमारे बड़े पॉडकास्ट का एक स्पेशल हाईलाइट है. अगर आपको ये क्लिप पसंद आए तो पूरा पॉडकास्ट जरूर देखें. लिंक आपको मिल जाएगी डिस्क्रिप्शन एरिया के अंदर.
In Calgary, the first 6-8 months made me really maneuver around the odd jobs, crush my ego. The idea of self-worth had to be reassessed. And in all of that, I actually also invested in some mental wellness practices or overall well-being practices. So India is so rich with yoga and meditation, and my experience with breath work, art of living was really at that point,
So you got connect to art of living while you were in Canada?
While I was in Calgary, actually.
Okay.
And I remember I had the opportunity, because it's a very prominent thing in Montreal, because the Art of Living has a retreat center in Montreal. So that would have been an obvious thing. But again, I was a rebel without a cause even then. So I didn't take on to those offerings at that point. But Calgary brought me to a point of openness. It humbled me to really adapt to things that needed to feed my soul. And Art of Living did that for me. And having Gurudev, Shri Ravi Shankar come in my life was really that, I would say, 180 flip. And
how did your perspective change?
I mean, if I was to make it a short sentence, it was night and day of a difference. But if I was to really break it down, one big thing that I saw changing in me right away was just my ability to express myself without the burden of emotions. Usually when we are speaking about things that are dear to us, a surge of emotions comes in it, and it kind of dilutes what we're trying to say. Whether it's anger, tears, or you're not just able to verbalize it with the perfect expression. But with these practices, with having had the experience of a live master in my life, I was able to see the expression, the quality of my expression and action was getting refined. This started to improve my interpersonal relationships. So things that were sour with my brother, that started to see change. I was really able to understand the situation of my mother at that point, that her trauma, what really she rather than making a journey of me, myself and I, it became more collective, us. And the element of happiness you were talking about earlier, my happiness understanding became a little bit more mature. It was not about my happiness, it was about our happiness. I found happiness in giving rather than taking. And that's what Art of Living and these practices did for me. So that's in a nutshell for you, but I can go on.
So, but when we talk about happiness, when I say it's our my happiness, my in the sense is always about our happiness. In the sense, our family, people close to us. We can't make the world happier. I mean, that's what I presume or I believe. As an individual, we can't do that to everyone unless you are the guru and you are the leader with a cult following and everyone following you. You try to make people around you happy, which indirectly makes you happy. But normally people are always in a negative mindset, thinking that I can't do anything, they don't help themselves. So, which is why I feel that it's important to be yourselves happy and keep people around you happy.
Absolutely.
That's what
I think happiness, of course, it's an inside job. They're the best of quotes out there. We don't need to dive into it. But when I talk about the maturity of happiness in giving, the element of service, that was very alien to me, which in Hindi is seva, right? To be able to do something for someone with no real reason or selfish act for yourself or return for yourself is something really what Art of Living taught me. So a lot of my time outside of my profession became in giving these contributing my time to volunteering organizations and projects that really had an impact on people. So, when you say, I can't make the world happy, I actually started to challenge that. Can I make an impact outside of just things that I felt were mine? My people, my jobs. So there's something called a teacher's training program. I became an Art of Living teacher. I started teaching meditation, breath work, and I could see what people felt after spending those 3 days with us in the workshop. And they found that we were the source of happiness. But giving them that happiness made me more happier than them.
So some level of feedback, positive feedback comes back to you. Oh, this is worth it. This makes sense.
Yeah,
this is helping someone.
When you know you've made someone smile, it makes you more happier than...
there is positive reinforcement there.
That is. That.
So this is something which you're referring to, like a 3 days program is something like a Vipassana, where people disconnect to the world and they come and stay in the ashram. And
I'm not too, I would say, educated
I don't know the
on
name of the word.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of the word. I'm talking about a program I'm thinking is called Vipassana or something, where you are just disconnected with the world and you stay in the ashram with the teachers or guides and just follow their routine and just do meditation all the time.
So Art of Living actually is all well within your current life to encompass it in a more holistic manner and make you more productive within your life in that situation. So this happens, now it happens online, but the program I'm referring to is called the Art of Living Part 1 course, or some places it's called the Happiness Program, wherein you learn a breath work called Sudarshan Kriya. So you could do it within the city, or you can go to a retreat center to do it. But it's done in 3 short sessions, a couple of hours each day. And what you take back is a breath work that allows you to experience a deep state of relaxation of the mind by skillfully using your breath. And breath and the mind have a strong correlation. Cracking that science was an eye-opener for me. So if I was to feed my logical mind, what am I doing here? Right? It just made me have a better understanding of my mind by having a better say over my breath. And that's what the Sudarshan Kriya practice does for you. And now that I am a facilitator of it, a teacher of it, it's being able to spread happiness in a different way. Right? There's happiness you give Christmas gifts, or you go and volunteer at shelter homes. There's so many different ways, right? Giving happiness where I'm equipping people to manage their own mind is a different level of happiness that I get to experience in that. It's the higher levels of service also, I say, when you're making someone strong in their mind.
And in your workshops, do you find everyone being able to accomplish that, or do you also find some, for whatever state their mind is, they're unable to absorb that or get... Do you see any of those cases, or pretty much everyone who comes there is able to?
I think change is inevitable, right? So everyone who comes for that 3-day workshop comes back feeling a sense of change. What really continues in that is the continuity of the practice too. But for that, you need to first know what it feels to have a calm and peaceful mind. So the 3 days reinforces that it is possible to have a calm and peaceful mind in a very natural manner. That is by using your own breath. After that, there are support groups or regular follow-ups that allow you to sustain that mind. So people who have stuck on the path, 100% are able to see the changes and, be an advocate for it like I am today.
But it also depends on person to person's mind. Few people like me, I keep fighting in my mind when I try to do meditation. So I don't actively follow. My wife does Shambhavi Kriya of Sadhguru.
Okay.
And I can't sit for more than a minute. Forget about sitting down for hours.
Yeah.
Because the moment I'm sitting, I'm like, what is the person doing there? So I agree when you say 3 days or maybe continuous follow-up and stuff. I tried, but it also depends on person to person.
Probably also depends on the guru, the right guru
or maybe I think situation के ऊपर भी होता है कि if I finally come in a situation where I seek help from someone, and at that time if the guru comes in our life, then the perfect bonding happens. Like when my wife lost her father during COVID, that's when she got active with Sadhguru's principles, and she's fully into it. I don't understand that. I'm not stopping her from it, but I'm just saying that when I try to follow the same, I cannot. Maybe because I'm heavily distracted with the whole world and I'm not seeking anything.
There is
right
a
now.
saying, when the student is ready, the master shall appear.
So अभी maybe student मजे की जिंदगी में
What I mean by that is, in some ways our mind also has to be prepared to receive that, to be in that state of receiving advice or inputs. But if our mind is wandering and we are not ready, maybe.
उम्मीद है ये वीडियो आपके लिए यूजफुल और इंटरेस्टिंग रहा होगा। इस वीडियो को लाइक करना ना भूलें और टफ स्टोरी को यूट्यूब और सारे सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म पर फॉलो और सब्सक्राइब भी जरूर कर दीजिए। पूरा पॉडकास्ट देखने के लिए लिंक मैंने डिस्क्रिप्शन एरिया में दे दी है, जहां पर जाकर जरूर चेक करें। ये था एक काफी इंटरेस्टिंग वीडियो और मैं आपसे मिलता हूं हमारे अगले वीडियो में। तब तक के लिए गुड बाय।